In this video, I'm just going to take it for granted that you're familiar with LAANC and you're also familiar with the DJI Fly Safe website. If you're not familiar with these two programs, they're pretty user-friendly and you can adapt to them rather quickly. Just get to know them. Once you're familiar with them, it's just a three-step process to be able to fly in a controlled airspace / authorized airspace. I'm just going to show you the three-step process, the three-step sequence, and once you do it three times, you'll be able to knock it off in nothing flat. Out in the field with your cell phone or your RC controller, provided you have a cell phone service, or at home on your computer ahead of time with internet connection or cell service. The three steps are, number one step is to get LAANC authorization. Step 2 is to get DJI authorization. And step 3 is to send your authorization to your drone. And believe me, once you've done it 1 or 2 or 3 times, it's a breeze after that. And this is kind of the area I'll be flying in. This is the international airport here, and I'll be flying out in this little blue space here. I'm going to zoom in on this real quick. And here I am zoomed in a little bit more on this blue area. Let's go in a little closer even. And here we're zoomed in a little closer, and you can see the footage here. You can fly up to 400 feet here in this controlled airspace here. And when you use LAANC to request to fly in this space, you would probably immediately get an approval right back immediately. And the same down here. But I will be flying in this 0, it says you can't fly at all, a 0 altitude here. So what I did was I applied for an LAANC approval, and it took about 3 or 4 days to get back, and they finally got back to me with the approval. Again, though, if you applied up here through LAANC, you'd probably get immediate. But again, I'm down here flying in 0, so it took 3 days before they got back. And if you notice, I wanted to fly 100 feet in this 0 foot area, and they approved it, but it took about 3 days. So I'm zooming in just a little closer here, and this is about a half of a block that I want to fly in. And this Sprague Avenue here is a lot of traffic on that thing, a lot of foot traffic there. But I requested to fly 100 feet, and it took them, like I say, 3 days to do this, to get back to me, to said I could fly in this area up to 100 feet. With my request here through LAANC, I told them what day I was going to fly, which is tomorrow actually, and what time I wanted to start, 11 a.m., and how long I wanted to fly, and I said 2 hours. I just needed to fly in a small area in this controlled airspace, so I used a polygon and I drew a map around the 1 block area. I just quickly wanted to show you what a text message would look like when you send it off through LAANC. I filled out all my pertinent information, and then I named it Rusty Mug 2, and I sent it off to the FAA through LAANC, and they immediately sent me this back telling me that they received the request and they're looking at it. And then again, 3 days later, I got the request approved authorized by the FAA. And again, I'm pretty sure because I was in controlled airspace with 0 altitude that they took a little bit longer to look at it, because when I've been out in controlled airspace with 400 feet, 300 feet, 200 feet, 100 feet, or 50 feet, they have, when I sent my LAANC request in out there, they got back to me immediately. I mean, while I was still in the field, right away. I mean, within seconds, I got authorized to fly out there. But I'm not saying that happens in all situations, so it's best to fill out all this stuff at home if you can, and get yourself squared around before you head out in the field. But again, just because I was flying in controlled airspace with 0 footage of 0 altitude, I think that's why it took them 3 days to get back to me. And after I got permission from the FAA, I had to go to the Fly Safe website online and fill out all the same information and the map and everything. And I named it Rusty Mug 2. And as soon as I filled it out, I got a message back saying waiting for review. So if you're out in the field and you want to go to this site and request to an unlock, you have to have a cell service on your phone. You can do it, or even on your RC. If you can find a hotspot, you can do it on your RC controller to get to flysafe.com and request an unlock. One time when I was dumb, I went out to out in the field there, and right here, I think it was, I didn't have any cell service, so I couldn't send off my LAANC request, and I couldn't go up to DJI Fly Safe and ask them to unlock the plane. So I had to drive about 3 miles, and I got to cell service, and I went to LAANC and got my permission from the FAA, and then I filled out the Fly Safe thing, and I got accepted. Then I drove back to the site and unlocked my plane, and the drone started up, and I was able to fly. And that was controlled airspace with a 400-foot ceiling. When you do a LAANC request, they want to know exactly how much time you're going to be flying in their controlled airspace and when you're going to be done. Whereas Fly Safe is good until the following midnight of the day you requested it, your plane will be unlocked for that whole amount of time. So when your LAANC controlled airspace time expires, your drone will remain unlocked until midnight. And my Rusty Mug 2 waiting for review went to accepted in about 2 to 3 minutes. I did this at home on my computer, and it took that long. And out in the field, if you do it, it takes the same amount of time. Okay, I just want to show you something here. I'm going to turn the RC on. I'm going to turn the drone on. What I want you to do is just let you know I'm at my house now, and don't have any controlled airspace around my house. I'm in Class E airspace, and the lights on the drone will naturally show up green, and I would be able to fire my drone up and fly away. What I want you to do is pay attention to the lights on the drone as they come on, because they're different when they're in an unlock area. Now it's posting up here, getting ready to, and then pretty soon it'll go green. As soon as it put there, green right there. All right. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're in a restricted area. The red lights come on and they don't go off. So here I am in my van down at the Rusty Mug 2 flight site, Class D airspace, and I'm going to send the unlock from my RC controller to my drone. Okay, let's just see if I can do this. Turn the RC controller on, turn the plane on, or the drone. Now watch the lights on the drone come up. Okay. And you can see the RC controller coming up. Now the lights are green. Just let it catch up with a few satellites here. You probably can't see it, but I'm gonna wait till I get a bunch of satellites here, because you'll see the green light flashing, and they will flash to a red as soon as it detects that it's in the. I'm gonna put my antennas up here. There. It's up to 5 satellites. Actually 7 now. I think once it gets up to a certain amount of satellites, there they are. See the lights on the drone have went red. That means it knows that I'm in a restricted area. So therefore, if I try to start it up, they won't fire. Watch. See? They won't fire, because it knows I'm in a restricted zone. So what I'm going to do is now watch those lights on the drone there. Get that baby in focus. Now what I'm going to do here I'm going to go up to the 3 dots, scroll up to a geo unlock right there, and then I'm going to send it to the aircraft. Now when I touch this button and it sends it to the aircraft, those lights will go green because I got permission to fly in the Rusty Mug 2 area. Watch. There it is. Since that was a pretty blurry picture, I thought I would inject this picture here to give you a little bit more clear view of the unlock. screen. This one says unlock areas, Rusty Mug 2, and you just hit import to aircraft, and it goes to the aircraft. Now at this time I only have one unlock license, and you may have several underneath here that are already done, or you may have some pending underneath it, but I just have the one here. Those lights will go green because I got permission to fly in the Rusty Mug 2 area. Watch. There it is. Then this screen pops up. Took a little bit, but it finally came up. And it says a Phelps Field Authorized Zone Unlock. I'm going to push the unlock button right there. See it? Just going to push it. And then watch the drone lights. And then I agree to all this stuff. You got to hit the buttons there. 1, 2, come on, 3. And then confirm. And then it's unlocking successful. Now look at the lights on the drone. It went green. See that? They went green. Even though it's not 11 o'clock yet, I think it's only 10:45. Remember, now I can fire it up and watch. See?
Take off.
And I'm going to shut it off. But even though I'm not, the FFA gave me permission from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, but DJI Fly Safe goes from midnight to midnight, so that's why I'm able to unlock it before my time. So I hope this comes out okay. Yeah. Okay.